Over the past few months, I've become so absurdly obsessed with this film look that I had to change my entire layout. Here's what my space used to look like, and here's what it looks like now. And it wasn't just the setup that I had to change, I drastically had to change my color grading from this to this. So in this video, I'm gonna be going over everything I did to get this film look, starting from my camera settings all the way to how I changed my environment to get this really warmish filmic look, and then finally the color grading so we can just tie this all together and just really fucking smash this look. So without further ado, my name is Torsten Roscoe and let's get straight into this video. So first we're gonna start off with camera settings. I'm gonna show you from my phone right now, as you can see. Hi Torsten. We're gonna go right on the camera in 3, 2, 1, boom. So now we are on my phone, and as you can see, here are all my camera settings. And I've run at, so the first setting I like to do, if my phone will actually focus, please phone focus. So you can see up on the top right here, oh my God, this is difficult. You can see on the top right here, I run at XVAC S 4K 24 frames per second. And if you're wondering what camera I'm using the A7 IV. And then I run at 422 10-bit color space, just so then we, get the best color possible out of this camera. I run at a 454 Kelvin, just so then it gives me this like warm look that we're looking for. And then I run at ISO 1250. That's just me personally, but it's just gonna vary whatever shot you are in. And then I run at my focal, or not focal, but like the F aperture, whatever it's called. It's at f2.8, and then whatever your frames are. So I run at 4K 24 frames per second. You double this number right here where it says 1/50, this one right here. So those are my camera settings, and the way I kind of set up my room is, it's kind of botched a little bit, but I'll kind of bring you around and show you how I get this really warm look that has all my colors really pop, and what things I put in here to really just make everything pop. So without further ado, let's grab that camera. So to start off, I bought a fake plant just so then we can get just this greenish really look. If you see on all like film looks, it really has this vibrant green that really just blends in with warm tones. So if you can try to buy some kind of either fake plant or real plant, those real plant people out there, I'm one of them, but this time I just wanted to buy a fake one. You can go grab those, make sure you're just inviting real colors that usually are from outside. For instance, you usually see plants everywhere. That's why I bought a plant, and it just looks really good in my house. So just grabbing like really vibrant colors will match this aesthetic extremely well. That's why I have in the background, you can see here's my LED strip. I put that right behind that just so then it kind of makes this plant pop a lot, and it brings in these green tones really a lot that mixes with the LED strip. And of course, as you can see when you're looking at the LED strip, it's obviously a warm tone. So I have this at 2500 Kelvin. So that's actually really warm. And then we come over here into my background. You can see I have my background. My background is kind of the same. I have an LED over here. You don't need all this fancy lighting equipment. I mean, I'll show you down here in just a little bit. This thing's like $16, not even. So to get filmic looks, you don't really need fancy dancy lighting, but all you really need for your lighting setup is really a window. I just make this shit really fancy because I really love it, and this is kind of just my life. But all you really need is just a window, like I said, and make sure that you're using the cinematic triangle. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But for right now, I'm gonna show you my other things that I put in my room, and that is my books and also the sunlight lamp. So I'll put you down here. Yeah, it's like really fucking dark. Oh my God. As you can see, I have 2 books. I brought in one of my really bright books, and this one's also really colorful. I use these to really make just all the colors pop well together. Same with this. I made sure to put it right here just so then that blue will come into the shot and make everything just bright. You really want just really bright colors that tie really nice together. And then as we come down here is where you can get something that's really cheap. So this is my sunlight alarm clock. I don't really use it anymore, but this is what's bringing in that kind of warmish kind of tilt. This thing you can get online for like 16 bucks. So that's how I arranged my entire room to get this really warm, cinematic film look that just fucking Oh, it's so sexy, man. And what I was talking about earlier, that cinematic triangle, it basically is just a triangle that emits what a cinematic slash 3D. So what cinematic mean is basically making something that is 2D. So the image you're looking at right now is technically 2D because it's flat, and making something into 3D. That's why I positioned my softbox to the right of me, so then when it hits me, it's kind of coming at an angle, but it's not a 90-degree angle, it's kind of like a 45. It hits right here, and then you can see like on this cheek right here, it's kind of like a little triangle. That's what you're looking for when you want to get this kind of film cinematic look that just makes my face, because it contrasts with highlights and shadows to make me just look 3D, and also my plant and everything in the background. It really separates me from the background and adds depth to my entire picture. That's how you get that really cool film cinematic look that just, oh man, once again, it's so sexy. So now let's go on to the sexiest part of the video, which is the color grading. I'll see you in Premiere Pro. You know that time that you are doing the entire video, I just got done doing everything and then I forgot to hit record? Yeah, I just did that. Fuck. But for what we have to do right now is convert this S-Log into Rec. 709. And I actually forgot to tell you, but I run an S-Log Klein, and that is basically your picture profile for your camera. S-Log 3 is basically the best picture profile color space for dynamic range out of your camera. And if you don't know if you're running that, just search it up. But I'm sure if you are on this video, you know what S-Log 3 is. At least I hope you do. If you don't, go look it up. It's really easy and simple to figure out. But for now, we're gonna change that from S-Log to Rec. 709, and Rec. 709 is basically every single video you see online, that picture profile is on Rec. 709. So to convert these, all you have to do is convert it, go into the basic color correction in your Lumetri, make sure you're on your clip that you wanna select, and click this top one. It should say Alex default Rec. 709 or whatever one I leave in the description. You just click that and now it converts it into this Rec. 709. I'll also leave this in the link description. It's absolutely free, so might as well just grab it. You're gonna be using it 24/7. So I made a LUT to specifically do this for me, so I don't have to do it each and every single time. And it's really a no-brainer if you guys are not using LUTs to color grade your footage for you and not just waste endless hours, then this is absolutely perfect for you. But every single time I do is come into the created space, I go to this look. This is where you're gonna import your LUT. I come into browse, and then here are my LUTs I have right now currently in my LUT pack. You can find in link in the description. I'm going to be updating this very soon. It's gonna have a lot more LUTs in here. I just kind of threw some of the ones I use each and every single time that are extremely high quality into these. And all these are absolute bangers right now. But for right now, all I have to do is come into right here, hit the TR film look, double click it, and boom, we get this automatic, really good looking. It really pops my blue color. And for instance, if it's too strong, I can just change the intensity and bring it all the way to 0. Then it won't have it at all. Or if I just want to do it like 70, 60%, now this clip looks really nice, just like so. Or if I really want it strong, I can keep coming. But if I do it too strong, then my face kind of changes and I don't like that. So I'm just gonna turn it down to right around like 120. That looks really good on my footage, and then boom, it looks like this. This is the before, and then this is the after. Before, after. That looks absolutely sick. Like I said, you can go find these down in the link description. Use the code FILM to save $5 off your order. But I'm gonna show you some secret sauce anyways and show you how I created this LUT. So the way I created this LUT is actually, there's 2 ways I created it. The first one I'm gonna show you is just with Premiere Pro's Lumetri color, and then the second one is actually a lot easier and better, but not everyone has the plugin Dehancer. So if you have the plugin Dehancer, then there's no really reason watching this point to skip to the Dehancer part. But if you don't have Dehancer, I'm gonna show you how I get this just by using Lumetri color. So the first thing I always do is just come into Lumetri color, and it should be actually right here, hit basic corrections, and I just tweak it, man. I mean, I don't really go anything special. I honestly don't really look at the Lumetri color. I just kind of tweak it whatever I like. So for right now, I want a really warm look, because when you're using the warm look, you get this filmic look. So I'm just gonna bring it too warm. Not gonna do too much fancy stuff. I'm not gonna bring that tint, and I'm gonna up the saturation just a little bit, just so we can get that looking pretty well right now. And then we can mess with the exposure. I'm actually probably not gonna touch the exposure very much. Contrast, I'll up it just a little bit. Highlights, up that just a little bit. Again, we can go back and redo these, but this is kind of just what I do. I use my eyes because at the end of the day, I mean, that's the only really thing how you could see this is with your eyes. Just mess around with the shadows. Maybe I want the shadows a little higher, maybe I want it a little lower. I'll just do that and just keep messing around with it until you get the look you want. I don't touch the blacks rarely because when you touch the blacks, it really blackens the blacks like it usually should. Or if you up it, it just makes it flat. So I usually just leave it because my camera does a really good job anyways at doing that. And then I go into the HSL secondary, and this is where majority of the really popping colors comes into play here. So the way I get that really like bright blue t-shirt and really bright green on my plant is by using this HSL secondary, and hit this key right here. And what this basically does is when you hit this plus right here and you click on my shirt, for instance, it's going to key out just that exact color. So when I hit this gray color / gray scale here, it's just going to grab this, and all you want to do is kind of mess around with this and make sure you're just grabbing my shirt. So I'll just kind of keep broadening this out, make this a lot bigger too, mess around with it. See, so I don't want to go to the right, I want to go to the left. Just keep grabbing that, just like so. Maybe move this to the right or left just to see that. Maybe bring this out just like so we can grab the t-shirt more. Play with this one too. All you want to do is kind of play around with it, see what works for you, and see how it's kind of grabbing everything. I don't want to do that, so scale this down just like so, and then boom. I'm pretty sure I got majority of my shirt. I'll just make sure, double check really quick. Yep, it looks like I'm grabbing majority of my shirt. And now I can uncheck this color grayscale, and we can see the rest of the footage. And you can really play with the color of my temperature of my shirt now. So for instance, this color, if I really want it blue, I can do that. I can up the contrast, I can decrease the contrast if I want. See how we're just grabbing this blue shirt? That's how we really pop everything. I'm gonna probably just leave that as 0. I don't really mess with the sharpen. It really comes down to the temperature and the saturation. So if I really want this to pop, I can just put this all the way 200, and I can put this to the left. So now it looks like this. And we can grab this kind of color space and bring this to the right to get this blueness. I mean, if I wanted to make it purple, I could, but it doesn't really look well. Make this like blue, and now it gives us this really nice blue color. Ooh, that looks really good. And you do the exact same process with the plant. So all you have to do is, again, key out the plant, make sure that you're only grabbing the plant or whatever color you are trying to get. So green, yellow, orange, whatever color. Make sure you're just grabbing that one, and then increase the saturation and just do all those steps that we just did. So if you're using Dehancer, this is how I get this look. You can see it just adds a lot better quality. Just there's more film grain. My shirt pops a lot more. There's kind of like a halation reddish effect. I'll show you the before. So this is before, and then this is after Dehancer. This is before and after. And the way I color graded this is I came into here, I'll turn off my kind of creative look. Again, this is exactly what it looks like. You don't have to color grade it every single time on Dehancer. All you have to do is grab the look. It's kind of a no-brainer, but I'll show you how to do it anyways. I'm gonna deactivate that, and the first things I always like to add for Dehancer before I really do anything is make sure that I add some film grain. I come into here, I don't like to have a lot of film grain just because it adds a shit ton of film grain when you're going to, like, let's say this 8mm, it's just fucking crazy. Like, this is way too much. So I like to go at like the lowest as possible, which is this one right here, I'm pretty sure. And then I also like to add a halation effect. Again, I go extremely kind of like lowest as possible with their presets. You can do custom too. I just use the presets because it's just really quick and easy and they look good. I just go to 65mm to 70 just because when I mask this, you can see it's like barely kind of working. And then if you obviously want more strength, you can go down. But I just like to grab this one. This one hits really nice. And then the bloom effect is really where this like kind of all shines. I go a little bit stronger than the last one. This is like the third third, second, whatever. It's not as strong as all the other ones. So I can just hit mask. You can see it only grabs the highlights like it's supposed to be doing, and it really just blooms this, makes it looks good. This is like the before, and then this is after. Here's like a before and then after. The bloom really adds that dreamy look that you see in all the film type videos. So that is kind of like the secret sauce to this. And then we can go into really the color grading. First of all, when you go into input, make sure that this Dehancer plugin is under this color grade, the Lumetri color, because if you don't, it kind of just looks like this and it looks kind of botched a little bit. You kind of lose like the bloom effect and everything. So make sure it's under this. And obviously because you went into the basic corrections and already converted it to Rec 709, when you come into Dehancer, make sure the input is on Rec 709. And then all I do is kind of mess around with the settings, man. I mean, that's all really what it is just trying to figure out what looks good. So for instance, because this is warm, this is like a warm look, I'm just gonna drag it to like the right a little bit, maybe. And then the tints, I'm not gonna mess with the tint. Actually, I might just leave this. I kind of like that. No, I'll leave it just a little bit to the right. I don't touch the defringe, then I come into the film, and if I want to, I'll use one of these, but majority of the time I don't use a film preset just because I like the way that I create it. Then I come into the film developer. I don't think I really mess with this. Oh yeah, I do. So here's really where the colors really pop. If you want to make this really pop, hit enable and then hit color boost and then just like crank this baby. It's a little red, that's fine. We'll fix that in a little bit, but for right now, you can see how all the colors are really popping and making it look good, but it just makes it look like that. You can mess with the contrast boost. I might just like barely increase it, just slightly, just like so. We can go into film compression and mess with the impacts. If you enable this, it will mess with like the white point and stuff. I don't really touch this very much just because I don't really need to, and I don't really know exactly what it does. That's totally fine. And for expand, this is kind of like makes everything saturated and desaturated, so you can mess with the white points. Whatever looks good with you will do. So I might just brighten this up a little bit, and then the white point, I'm gonna turn like so. Get rid of that, go to print. We're almost to the part where we're all looking for. I don't think I really mess with the print either. Again, I just kind of fuck around with the settings, see what looks good, what doesn't, and then I just go from there. So I'm just gonna disable that because I don't really like that. The collar head is right where we can fix this kind of really bad look, and that's how it's come into this like yellow blue, and you can move this and everything. Make sure you enable it, of course. And then we can fix this red by simply just like bringing it to the right and everything. Bring this green. Yellow might be a little too much, so we can bring it to like the blue a little bit. The red is kind of really strong, so I'll bring it to like cyan, whatever I can call it. I bring it to the left, and now it looks like this. Has that really nice film look. I really like that. We can mess with the shadows and tones, so I'm just gonna like maybe up this a little bit or decrease it. It looks like when I decrease this, it really makes that shirt pop, so I'm gonna do that as like much as possible. Kind of affects my face too, so I don't wanna do it too much. My mid-tones, I might put this up just because it looks like my face is getting a lot better look. Highlight tone, again, just kind of mess around with the highlights, whatever looks good to you. Reserve, make sure those are on. Again, this is like the film grain, and these are all like these regular looks. And then once you already have like the look that you want, you can just come down here, hit LUT generator. I like to do normal, and then you can export this LUT, and then boom, you already have this LUT saved every single time you use it. You can find all my LUTs in link description. They're absolute bangers. I recommend each and every single person, if you like my style, go and look at it. I'll pop up a few examples of all of these different looks and what it looks like on my footage. It's just, oh, it's so fucking sexy, man. And if you wanna learn how I automated my entire hook process, so now it just takes me literally seconds to create a hook, go click this video right over here. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.